Which brings us to the importance of project management itself and managing that project in a successful way from beginning to end. So there are benefits to having good project management when you're doing a project itself. Effective project management leads to meeting those stakeholder objectives, increasing the chances of the project success, resolving problems and issues as they arise, which they always do, responding to risks that might arise as well, optimizing the use of organizational resources so the people that you're bringing on board to your project, can you use them in the absolute best way? Identifying failing projects and sometimes terminating them if you absolutely need to, and managing all of the constraints. So you've got money, you've got scope, you've got the time frame. All of those need to be managed and sometimes shuffled around to show that you can still meet the project objectives. Now, poor project management, on the other hand, is a different story. You could have, and I've seen this many times, and I'm sure you have too, because project management is quite difficult, which is why it's nice to have a framework to operate by. But you could have missed deadlines. Oh, now all of a sudden your project is late. You could have cost overruns. Oh, now all of a sudden it's going to cost $2 million instead of $1 million, or $50,000 instead of $20,000. Whatever it is, you could have poor quality, so it's not actually meeting what the customer wanted. You could be having to rework things, to redo them over and over again, and the customer's not happy about that. Expansion of scope, so scope creep, where the things that the customer wants actually end up being more and more and more and more and more and more, and they weren't designed in the initial project for what we wanted to deliver. So there are lots of things that can happen if a project is not managed well. And even when it is managed well, these things can go wrong. But that's the benefit of having a framework to manage it by, is that you're doing the absolute best you can to try and get these things on the left here. So meeting those stakeholder needs and increasing the chances of success, rather than having missed deadlines or cost overruns. Now, there is a relationship here between three things, and we've got basically at the you'd call it the base level, at the operating level, where things are done on a day-to-day basis. We've got the operations of a business, and that's where we've got shared resources and shared stakeholders. People are often we're going to have to use these resources and these people from within the organization to help us get the project done. And so that's an essential thing that we need to manage throughout the life of a project. But that's where we've got our operations. And that's where we're going to be delivering the project to at the end, usually as well. So the next layer from there is our projects. And these are the things that are delivering change to our BAU or operations. But sometimes you want to have like a really good overview of all of these multiple projects. There's lots of projects happening, and you need just something to clearly define a bunch of those projects in one. That's where we come into a program. So you might see program managers. They might have a couple of projects, a handful, maybe 10, maybe even 20 sometimes, where they've got multiple projects all delivering the same strategic objective. But they're all delivering a similar thing, but doing different things. And then lastly, made up of programs and projects and operations are our portfolios. So a portfolio manager will have multiple programs and then multiple projects under each of those programs, and then lots and lots and lots and lots of BAU teams and operations within the operations side of the business.